All right. Good morning, everybody. How's the week been? Nice. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just joining due to some technical glitches. But yes, I'm here now. So we kick off. So good morning to Mr. Adeyemo Daniel, Mr. Agbaje Nkechi. Okay, you can see Mr. Akinwande Robert. So this one, okay, the name I said Mr. Agbaje Nkechi. Okay, I think maybe it's Mrs. Agbaje Nkechi. Okay, so Akinwande, I can see the name Akinwande Robert. I can see Alebode Isedu. I can see Alfonso Sikediashi, Anthony Kayode, Augustine Nzedegu, Augustine Enudi. I can see Chinedu. I can see Ayodele Adeleye, Clemens Pereira, Dan, Daniel Egenti. I can also see, okay, this particular name, DRMPH. Okay. Maybe you should give us a full name there so we'll know how to call your name. You have Darlington Eze Nwelu. I can see Manuel's iPhone, Enudi Augustine, Ifeoluwa, Nere. Okay. Immaculate Ioma. Then I'm seeing Infinix Xs 516. Okay. But please kindly change your phone name to your real name so we'll be able to identify with you very well. Also, I can see a particular name now. It's just like Itaha Y or something. Please let's put our real name so it will help us out. Jomex. All in all, everybody, good morning. Good morning. Hope we had a restful night. Okay. In that case, then let's move on to the next deal for the day. This morning's market review will be handled by me, Joshua. Like we all know, every Friday, I'm the pilot of this particular flight. So yes, we all know the drill. I'm going to kick off looking at what happened yesterday, then we'll try to see what is going to happen today, try to envisage the reaction, which side the market is going to go, then we'll pick it. Then after that, we'll also have the opportunities of dropping our own instrument that you want to look at. All right. But first thing first, let's see the news we have. Let's see the fundamentals for yesterday, then we'll look at for today and know what exactly is going to happen, how the market reacted to it. Okay. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen now, which also be able to see some of these things. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Let me share my screen. Still with us. All right, so I'm with us now. All right. Okay. So yes. So we're here now. This is it. So for yesterday, we had around 2 a.m., we had President Trump speaking. And you see, after the speech, there was a great move on some of this instrument like Euro USD, which reversed back up, started pushing up, you understand? And because it was buying momentum, it means the speeches or the statements he gave as yesterday wasn't positive for the US economy. So that affected the market. Then after which by 1:30 we had some news coming out on GDP, that's the final GDP quarter to quarter. We also had unemployment claim, then the final GDP price index quarter to quarter. That came out by 1:30 and it came out uh a little bit neutral, you understand? Came out green and black. I know when we say green, it means the information is good for the economy. Black means what? It's neutral, you understand? So it might go both ways, but the eventual movement is still going to be buy. So black is partial buy, neutral or partial buy. Then by 3 p.m. we had the pending home sales month to month, which also came out positive. But yesterday, something interesting happened. Yesterday was when the tariff plan that President Trump has been talking about kicked off fully. You understand? And when it kicked off fully, we saw some massive moves in the market. You understand? But by the time we're checking that, checking the chart technically, we look at it and we also talk about it. Then maybe some of the effect of the decisions, how it's going to be, what to envisage. That could also help in deciding. It could be a deciding factor to how the market is going to be moving. Okay, so for today, we're expecting news on, okay, news came out on JPY, that's the Tokyo Core CPI year to year, and it came out positive for them. Then on GBP, you discover, and yes, if you look at it, because it came out positive for the Japanese yen, you understand, the Tokyo Core year to year, you discover that on instrument like GBP USD, price actually is dropping. But right away, as at this moment, the very moment it clocked 8 a.m. We had an information or news being released on GBP. That's the retail sales month to month. And that also came out positive for GBP. So on GBP JPY, we could have a little struggle with price. You understand? Instrument like that, GBP USD, we should expect it to what? To buy. But we're going to check the chart and see how exactly this news actually reacted to the market. Then by 9 a.m., we're expecting news on euros. That's the Spanish flash CPI year to year. Then come 1:30, we're expecting news on Canadian dollar, the GDP month to month. Then on USD, we're expecting the core PCE price index month to month. Then by 3 p.m., we should be expecting the revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment. All these are what we have for today. So yes, one way or the other, once this news is released, we'll discover that it's going to affect the market in its own way, in its own quarter. All right. But let's look at what is happening in the market technically. So we'll see how it's going to be. Then we'll compare and contrast and try to emphasize where price will most likely go. Okay. All right. So come in, come with us, and go. Okay. So with us. All right. So this is it. First thing first, we start with Euro USD, like we all know. That's the first instrument I always start with. And yes, I want to believe everybody can see my screen from their own end. So yes, first thing first, looking at it from the 1 hour time frame, you discover that price has actually moved between these 2 points for a while. It's just been between these two zones for a while. This is zone 1 and this is point 2. You understand? In fact, it broke below it a little. It broke below it a little. Just that I'm trying to, okay, let's do the adjustment and see. Based on what we're seeing, let's see. Okay, so a new zone now. Price has been going between these 2 points for a while now. And you see, went up, touched this particular resistance, came back down, and price is trying to push back to the upside. But let's see what is happening on daily time frame. Daily time frame will also help us to know what's up. Okay, you discover that yes, based on what we're seeing on daily time frame, you know, when we look at the market based on daily time frame, that's on long term. You understand? Look at it, price got to this high, came down to this low, reversed back up again, got to this point, got rejected. And from this point now, he's trying to push back to the upside. If you can see, pushed back to the upside. But as of this morning now, price is turning here. Is price coming down? It's going up. So it's one of these two. Based on what we're seeing on daily time frame, is price is able to break below this particular session, we should expect the price to fall. And if that does not happen, we could see a reversal back to the upside, breaks above this point, and keeps on moving up. That's just the interesting thing. Look at it still on this, okay, on weekly time frame, we'll discover that price is trying to push back to the upside and remaining. Monthly time frame too, yes, we'll see it. On the monthly time frame, we can see the candle zero. We can see what it's doing. It's been more of what a bullish movement on the monthly time frame. So looking at it extensively, let's get back to the lower time frame now. You understand, for us. So based on what we are seeing on candle 1 now, we can see that it's more or less like candle 1 is trying to push up. So based on my own opinion, I'm going to put it this way. If price is able to break below this particular section now, then we should expect price to sell. But if that does not happen, it could keep on moving back to it could go up to the upside, you understand? Move to the upside. And you want to pick your trade from the upside, fine. Hold on for it to break above this particular section, this zone here. Once it's able to close above this zone, then fine, we can go for our buy. But if that does not happen, if it moves between that two zones, that point, then we should hold on. But if we want to go for a buy, wait for it to break above that part. If it breaks above this successfully, then we can go for the buy. But if that does not happen, then we are to hold on. We need to wait for price to do that first. That's when we can move. All right. Okay, so that's that for that on Euro USD. Then let's look at USD card. Let's go to USD card. Let's see what is happening on USD card. All right, I'm on USD card now. So based on what we're seeing on USD card, we'll discover that for now, price, based on what we're seeing, price is trying to push back to the upside on 1 hour time frame. Yes, I'm zooming back out so we could see it, okay? Now you see, for a while now, in fact, based on what we're saying, for a while, price got to this upside, now pushed down because we know that for a while, dollars actually lost strength. You understand? Dollars lost strength based on what we're saying. In fact, okay, let's see, based on what we're saying on this trend, let me put it this way. Okay, with us, let's see what the trend is doing. This is one. Okay, and let's pick it up from this point. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm zooming in now so we can see, but if we were to look at it based on what you're saying, you discover that based on the trend, when price got to this particular trend, which is the dynamic resistance, you can see that price is respecting that zone and is dropping. This is what we're saying on the 1 hour time frame. You can see price is actually respecting this point and is what is dropping. You understand? So if price is unable to break above this part, then we could have price drop back down to this point. You understand? It could drop back to this point. But yes, there's also another zone around this part. So price could have some little H here. If price is not able to break above it, it drops down to around this point. And around this point, if price breaks below it, then we could have a continuation of price dropping down. So we wait for price depending on our own decision. For some of us, if we want to go for the sell, we could go for the sell now. Then you hold on. Once it gets close to this point, you could take out whatever profit you make. But for those that have good sums in their account and are willing to wait for that, you can wait. If price is able to break below this part, then you could have a continuation on that fall. But if that is not the case, we could also look at it from this part that price got to this point and it has rejected back and is trying to move back up. If you look at the trend, even though not too much, we could see that price is trying to what reverse back to the upside here. Looking at what we're seeing from this point, price is trying to reverse back. So, but let's hold on and see what price is going to do. You understand? So based on my own opinion, I expect price to what? To drop on USD card. Yes, I'm expecting price to drop on USD card. That's my own take on USD card. Okay, let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD. Okay, I'm on GBP USD with us. And looking at GBP USD, can you see price has actually moved up? Remember, I told us that news came out on GBP. That's for the retail sales, and we can see what it's showing now. It means the news was very strong. It came out good, and we know that yes, In fact, let's go to, let me show us. Let's go back there so we'll see it. We'll see it. News. You can see, yes, as at 8 a.m., retail sales month to month, it came out good for GBP 1.0. It came out green. And when it comes out green, it means the information that has been released is good for that particular economy or for that currency. And that's why on the chart, we can see the reaction now. Can you see the reaction? You can see the reaction based on what we're seeing on the reaction. It is what? It is buying. Look at it. So this is as a result of the news, you understand? The news pushed it up to this point. But if you're looking at it technically, where price is now currently, based on what we're seeing, is a zone. Where it is now currently is a zone, is a supply zone. But one of the things I want us to understand it is whenever it comes to news, news is a respecter of no zone. News is a respecter of no zone. No matter how it is, whether it's a proven zone and the meaning is a respecter of no zone, it breaks it, it moves. If he says buy, he's going to buy. And once he gets to a new high, he can start a new movement from that point too. Based on what we're seeing now, we're seeing the reaction of what? Of the news that we got this morning. GBP, good. So based on what we're seeing now, we should expect an instrument like GBP, JPY, GBP, USD, GBP, and some other instrument to what? To buy because of what? The news. So yeah, expect, we could also expect a retracement, you understand, back, you understand, once the news is done. But I just feel the strength of the news is what is actually pushing this market. Also, let's see what the currency strength meter is saying. Let's see what the currency strength meter is saying currently. Let's look at that. Maybe that could also help us. With us. All right, so if you look at it, based on the currency strength meter, what we're seeing now, currently, can you see GBP is gaining strength, and that's why you're seeing the green arrow on it. AUD, the same thing. JPY is even the strongest of them up. Full, you understand? Full bar. Now look at USD. It's showing that USD is what is dropping strength. USD is dropping strength. That's why you're seeing the red arrow on USD. So basically, based on that, that's one of the reasons why you can see that GBP USD is actually moving to the upside in full strength. You understand? Can we see it's moving up? So, but this is a zone here, and let's see what is going to happen. If this particular price is able to break above this zone, then you know what that means. It means this point now becomes a demand zone, that is a support zone. And because it's a support zone, the whole thing might now change. But let's wait and see what is going to happen. Let's not move too fast. You understand? Price might not be able to break above this particular zone now. Maybe all this movement now, this is all what is going to happen. You understand? Since he started from this point to this point, maybe this is all what's going to happen. He might just decide to dance around this point. So if it respects this zone, then we should expect price to what? To drop. That's what I'm going to say. But if he's able to break above it, then good and fine. We should expect it to continue the buy movement. But if price is having issues around this point, then we need to hold on and see what it's going to do. Is it going to break above it? Fine. If it's not going to break above it, then we are to what? Hold on. Let's look at GBP, JPY and see what is happening. Okay, so the same thing. Can you see GBP, JPY is also moving up? Based on what? Based on the fact that GBP is strong. Yeah, sure, JPY too is strong, and that's why we can see that price is fine. It moved in the bullish way, but price is having a little bit of each around this point. It's somehow tight. You understand? Because JPY is actually strong. So let's say maybe after this whole deal now, price might be continue to drop on GBP, JPY. We could have a continuation of a selling sell. You understand? But for now, because of the news, that's why we are having this bullish movement on JPY, GBP, JPY. Okay, so let's look at another instrument. Let's see. Let's look at USD JPY. Let's see what is happening on USD JPY. After which we look at USD CHF, then we go to commodities and indices. Okay. So Looking at USD JPY, based on what we're seeing on 1 hour time frame, you discover that the chart is showing us that price is actually what? Moving up. Based on the trend, price has been moving up. Based on what we're seeing on trend, price has been what? Moving up. You understand? Been giving us this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and the likes. Okay, so the trend is more of an upward trend. So let's look at what we're seeing based on what we're seeing on the screen now. If price is unable to break below this particular section here, we should expect what? Price to keep on moving up. We should expect a buy from this point. As far as price is unable to break below this point, then we should expect price to buy. You understand? But if it breaks below that point, then it might distort the whole thing. You understand? So, but basically, based on what we are seeing here, price is able to break below this part now, then we should have what? A sell. If price is unable to do that, then we know what happens. Reversal back to the upside. That's my take on USD JPY. You understand? But basically, based on what we are saying, I'm expecting it to break below it. Based on my own opinion, I'm expecting USD JPY, you understand, to go down. I'll take I'll pitch my tent with the bears. But before I do that, I'll wait for it to break below this part. If it's able to break below it, then I go for my sell. But if that does not happen, I'm going to hold on. So let's move on to USD CHF. Okay, USD CHF. So based on what we're seeing on USD CHF, we discovered that price has actually been ranging for a while. Just let's see, let me make it so we can see it. Price has been between these 2 points for a while now. It's been between these 2 points, these 2 zones. And because of that, we'll say price is what? Is ranging. And because price is ranging, what are we to do? We are meant to what? Wait. Why? Because we know that a ranging market is known as a correction market. So this is this is my own blunt opinion on USD JPY. Wait for it to break in any of these direction, break out in any of these direction, either to the upside or the downside. Then what? We follow. That's the blunt truth. This is on my 1 hour time frame. If it's able to break below, then we should expect price to what? Sell. We should expect price to sell. If it breaks above, then we should expect price to buy. But if we look at it, we discover that price for a while now has been respecting the 2 demand and supply zones. It's been respecting the 2 zones. Once it gets there, it gets rejected, it goes back, and it turns back to the upside again, and it turns back down. So what we're meant to do now is to wait for price to what? To break out of any of these zones, either to the upside or downside. Then we'll pitch our tent, we'll follow. So USD CHF, that's my take on it. You understand? I'll wait for price to break either down or above the market, then I follow. That's that on USD CHF. So we'll move to commodities now. Then the first instrument we're going to be looking at in commodity is gold. Let's go to gold. Now, can we see gold has actually moved up, is moving up, is moving up. It has broken that first zone. You can see the line there. You can see the horizontal line that was drawn there. It has broken above it. And yes, a lot of us will look at it like, what happened? How did it move like this? What happened? And this and that. Just like I said, the price of the tariff that Donald Trump has actually been shouting about, pushing into the market or making statement on, actually kicked off yesterday. So it battered this reaction. I, for one, just like I've said, I'm expecting the price of gold to get to 3,500. Yes, I'm expecting it to get to 3,500. That's my own opinion. You understand? But once it gets to that price, then maybe we can now have gold having issues going up. Maybe at that point we could have it coming back down for a while. You understand? But yes, based on my expectation, and I'm expecting it to get to 3.5. And besides, if we look at it, we discover that for a while now, in fact, let's look at it based on daily time frame. Okay, let me zoom out so we can see it fully. We discover that this is the highest it has ever gotten to. This is the highest it has ever gotten to. The highest it has ever gotten to. We're seeing it at 3,081 and remaining and the likes like that. This is the highest gold has ever gotten to in history. So because, in fact, let's see. Let's see, where's my crosshair? Yes, 3,085.70. Okay, yeah, 3,085.78. That's the highest it has ever gone into. And like we all know, because that point is a new zone, that's why you're having price pulling down now. You understand? But all in all, like I've said, I pitch my tent with the bulls, but because that point is a supply zone, that's why we're seeing price dropping. Yes, it's dropping as of now. On candle zero, we can see it dropping and dropping and dropping. But fine. If I, for one, I'm expecting price to get down to around this point. So around that point, I should be expecting price to reverse back around this part. I will be expecting price to reverse back to the upside. You understand? So if price comes into this particular zone now and doesn't break below this part, then I will expect price to push up. You understand? But if that does not happen, if it breaks below it, then it could get back to this same point that we have the horizontal line. You understand? Price could get back there. But if it doesn't happen, I'm expecting it to push up. Just like I said, I will pitch my tent with the bulls when it comes to gold. I'll pitch my tent with the bulls. So I'll just look out for a buy opportunity then. I'll take it. That's that on gold. Okay. Let's look at another commodity instrument. Let's see. Oils. Let's go to oils. Okay. All right. So we'll discover that the price of oil is gradually moving back to the upside. You understand? Can we see, based on what we're even seeing on the trend, it's gradually moving back to the upside. And currently where it is, I'm expecting price to reverse back to the upside. I'm expecting it to go up where price is now currently. I'm expecting it to go up. There should be a rejection around that point. I'm expecting price to push up. But if you look at it on the horizontal part, okay, let's see. Still with us. Yes. So even if it breaks below this part, we could have it coming to this point. Then around this point, there could I should be expecting a rejection back to the upside. But normally, if you look at what we are saying here, we discover that yes, we have like a double top around this point, and after every double top we should expect what? A bearish move, and that's what we can see. That's what happened there. The bearish move followed down to this point. Yes, so if it breaks below this part and this point, we could expect price of oil to sell. But if that does not happen, it could reverse back up. And yes, some of the things that I just feel is going to affect this market in terms of oil is, like we all know, Nigeria is a big boy when it comes to oil production. We are, in fact, Nigeria is one of the major decider when it comes to oil. Just the only reason we are unable to know about that is because of the way our government operates. But if you look at it in OPEC, if you mention first 1, 2, 3, or 5 countries, Nigeria is part of them. You understand? We're one of the major players in OPEC. So, and currently, based on what is even happening in Nigeria, even though we have this crude oil in large quantity, now they're also saying that they're going to be, Dangote is saying he's trying to bring in oil with dollars. He's not going to be selling in Naira or stuff like that. And you see, all these things are part of things that will also affect the market price. It will affect oil generally around the world, you understand? So this will be part of the things that is affect. Oh, yeah, it's one part that I feel is affecting oil too, that will make oil to also go up. You understand? So on oil, I'm expecting a bullish movement. That's my own sentiment on it, or my own opinion. I'm expecting price of oil to what? Push up. You understand? I'm expecting it to push up. Okay. That's my take on oil. But if it's able to break below these parts, we could have the price drop. You understand? But all in all, my own opinion is still bullish on oil. That's my own take on oil. All right. So we'll move to the next instrument. Let's look at okay, let me pick one more instrument on commodity. Let's go to wheat. Let's see what is happening on wheat. Amateurs. Okay, so this is wheat. This is on 1 hour time frame. We discovered that price went up, came back down, then tried reversing back up. Now it's back to that point in again. And the last time it got there, we saw price having some small trying to drag itself. Then after that, it reversed back up. So based on technicals, look at it based on, we say technicals is the use of past market action to determine where price will most likely go. So around this point, I'm expecting that price should what reverse back to the upside. But if we're looking at the trend has been downward. Price of wheat has been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. You understand? And okay, so some of the funny things that I just discovered, or some of the information that I just discovered this week is, yes, we know that Ukraine is a large producer of wheat. Like we all know, yes, Ukraine is a large producer of wheat. But funny enough, we also have an African country now who is also producing wheat. But I'm not sure the information of them already trying to export is getting out. But yes, if they are able to do that, it's going to also affect the price of wheat in the market. And which country am I talking about? I'm talking about this African country, Burkina Faso. Yes, they are beginning to produce wheat in their country. And based on the information gotten, they are actually doing well in the production of wheat. So some of these factors could also affect, and the fact that yes, Zelensky has also said he wants to end the war and the whole thing. So let's hope that yes, all these things are able to happen freely. Price will drop. You understand? Price on wheat will drop. But looking at it technically, if price is unable to go below this point now, or if it's able to go below this point, then we should expect it to move further. But if that does not happen, then we should expect it to reverse back to the upside. You understand? We should expect price to push back to the upside. Well, the way it is, let's just wait and see. If price is able to break below this part, fine. It's going to what? It's going to sell. It's going to sell if it breaks below this part successfully. If it breaks below it successfully, the price of wheat will go down. But if that does not happen, then we can see price reversing back to the upside. Okay. So let's move to indices now. Let's move to indices and see what is happening. Okay, let's go to indices. So we'll start with US 30, then we'll move to US 100, US 500, then US 2000. Okay, okay, I'm with us. Mr. with us. Okay, nice. All right, so US 100, let's look at US 100 or US 30 first. All right, so on US 30 now, based on what we're saying, you can see that around this point, price gapped up and it went up to this point, then it got rejected from that part. And price, as of now, this morning is dropping. One of the things I for one, I have in my mind is price is going to still drop because it needs to cover this gap. It needs to cover that gap. Now, once price covers that gap, after that, we can have price going back up. So I for one, I from based on what I'm saying, I am saying price is going to drop on US 30. It's going to drop. It's going to cover this gap that we are seeing here. It's going to cover it. So once it's done covering it around that point, we could have a reversal back to the upside. You understand? But for now, based on the whole expectations, I'm expecting price to drop on US 30. That's my take on US 30. I'm expecting a bearish move on US 30. Although we know that yes, on indices, basically we all expect price to what? To move to the upside. But currently now I'm expecting price to drop on US 30. That's my take. Let's move to US 100. Okay. So for US 100, we can see it actually gapped up and moved to the upside, and it has covered for that gap. It has covered for that gap. So what are we expecting? If price is still going to drop, and yes, what are those things that has actually affected these indices? Just like we said yesterday, due to the fact that the tariff plan of President Trump has kicked off, one of the reasons why stocks dropped again. You understand? That was one of the reasons why stocks dropped. So yes, if we're looking at it based on where price is going to drop, I could expect price on US 100 to get down to this point. You understand? Yes, I will expect it. I'm still going to pitch my tent with the bears, even on US 100. You understand? So if it gets to around this point, we could have price reversing back up. But for now, I'm expecting a sell on US 100. That's my own take. But the sell might not be for so long. That's it. Might not be for so long, but I'm expecting price to what? To drop on US 100. Okay, that's my take on US 100. Let's go to US 500 and see what is happening if you Sage. Okay. So US 500, they are all, in fact, it's more or less like everything is moving on the same path. You can see for US 500, it has covered this gap. So I'm expecting it to also do what? To still push down. Still expecting it to push down on US 500. You understand? Based on what we're saying. Or it could stop at this point and reverse back up. You understand? Because this is a zone already on its own where price is resting now currently. But if it's able to push down and break below it, then we should expect price to get to around this point. Yes, we should expect price could get to around this point or even move further down to this point before it reverses back to the upside. So we have like 2 points here. We have point one around this place. This is where we have point one. Then we also have point two here. So if price should pull down, should expect maybe a reversal around this point or at this point. That's that on US 500. Then let's look at 2000, US 2000. All right, I'm with us. US 2000. Okay, so around where price is currently now, price is having some little H here because this point is a zone for US 2000 where it is currently is a zone. So if price is able to break below this part on US 2000, we could expect it to push down. So this is just the whole deal on US 2000, this point where it is. Understand? This is the zone for US 2000. So if he's able to break below this part, good and fine, we should expect a bearish move. But if that does not happen, we will have price still pushing back to the upside on US 2000. Okay. All right. So that's that for that. Now I know that. Okay, so while this whole thing was going on, I could see that some of us were dropping some instruments for us to check. So I'm going to be looking at the chart now, and some of the instruments will drop. So first thing first, I'll look at the instrument that I've not talked about at all. Then I'll talk about it before I now go to. If there's still more time, I'll go back to those instruments that I've checked and talk on it again for the benefit of those that joined late. So first thing first, I'm looking at the okay, so I can see Victor Ojo is saying DE40, please. All right, so we'll look at DE40. Let's look at DE40 and see what is happening on DE40. All right, let's see what is happening on DE40. All right, so on DE40, this for the German stocks. Wow, we can also see that price has actually dropped on this instrument. Okay, let's zoom out a little and see what is happening. Where price is now is a strong demand zone, and that's why we're seeing that price is having issues around this point. You see, came there first time, reversed back, the second time, now it's the third time. Price has opened, it has pushed up. Price is still having issues. So this is the whole deal there. Is price going to break below it? Let's look out and see. If price is able to go below this point, price being okay. This point where price is a strong zone. Yes. So if price is able to break below this part, we should expect it to drop down to around this point. Around this point below here. But if that does not happen, if it's unable to break below it, then we could have a reversal back to the upside on 2040. Understand? Now, like we all know, when it comes to all these indices, one of the bias I have for it is it's more of a buying instrument on indices. So I always want to look out for a buy on indices. I always want to look out for a buy on indices. So for these German stocks too, I will say I will generally, like we all know, I always pitch my tent with the bulls. But yes, once in a while, you could have price dropping. So even if price is going to drop, it should close below this particular part. Then I go for my sell. If it doesn't drop below it, I'm not going to go for that sell. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Arubi Emmanuel Ogbaji is saying we should look at gold, even though yes, I've looked at gold, I'll check it. Then Daniel Agenti, you're saying news is coming out on euros by 9 a.m. Yes, I know news is coming out on euros by 9 a.m. Then trade it. We've given you the normal information, normal trades on that. There's nothing else I can do because I can't tell you it's going to buy or sell. I can't assume. Nobody knows the direction. I don't know how the news report is going to be. You understand? So if I'm telling you buy or sell now, you understand? I'm just risking the whole deal for you. But the best way of trading it, like we all know, is to wait for the news to be released. Once the news is released, based on what you're seeing on actual or the reaction you're seeing on your chart, you follow it. If it's going up, you buy. If it's going down, you sell. Just like we saw on the news that came out on GBP, it came out green. It means the information was good or is good for GBP. And what next? We saw the reaction on GBP USD, GBP JPY. What happened? It bought. You understand? So if you're saying you don't know how to trade it, I'm saying there's nothing I can do. You have to just wait for the actual. That's just it. All right. So let's look at gold again. Let's look at gold because of yeah, it was dropped on the chart. So let's look at gold. So this is it for gold. I said I'm expecting the price to just pull back to around this point. It might not even get there. But yes, I'm expecting that even if it's pulling back, it's around this point before it now what reverses back to the upside. So based on my own bias, I am pitching my tent with the bulls on gold. I am pitching my tent with the bulls on gold. You understand? Like I said, I'm still expecting price to push up to as high as 3,500 on gold. I'm expecting price to push up to 3,500 on gold. You understand? That's my take on gold. So if price should get to around this point, I should expect it to reverse back. And one of the other things you need to understand is this: some of these instruments, like gold now, it's more or less like a bullish instrument. Gold is more or less like what? In fact, it's a bullish instrument. So for me, I'm always trying to look out for a bullish move. Now that I said I'm always trying to look out for a bullish move doesn't mean that price does not sell. You understand? Even on gold, you still see sellers doing their own or pushing their own weight, you understand? So you could also make it from that sell. You understand? Just make sure you are able to see the reaction of or the point to enter for the sell before you go for the sell. So I, for one, I'm still waiting for a buy move on gold because I'm expecting it to what? To go up. You understand? So based on that, that's my take on gold anyway. That's my take on gold. Okay. Jukrom, you said, what's the difference between fundamental news and sentiment? and which one moves the market more profitable. Fundamentals has to do with news. Sentiment has to do with your bias. You understand? Fundamentals is the news that is being given. Okay, this is a report that is being given about the economy generally, saying this is how it's going to be because this has happened and this has happened. That's the latest development. That is based on news. It has nothing to do with emotions. But when we talk about sentimentals, sentimentals has to do with what? Your emotions. Sentimentals has to do with emotion. And in such situation, that's where you see buyers and sellers now agreeing and saying, okay, this is how we want it to be. You understand? Okay, let me just give us an instance now. Imagine you have you're staying in a particular house where you have 5 tenants. You understand? And in that house, they now decided that okay, everybody they bought a dustbin, a big dustbin, saying that okay, everybody should be pouring their waste into that bin, and once they are done with that, at the end of the month, they are to contribute money and what and to pay for the waste to be disposed. Now you see, one of the tenants now look at it like, oh, look, me, because I'm the only person in the house, I don't really have any more debt in my house or waste in my house. So because of that, I'm not sure I'm going to be a party to it. You understand? Everybody should have their bin. There's nothing like that, and throw away your thing. Now you see, if the number of people in the house is more, saying that is a lie, everybody should contribute to pay, because they discover that they have more ways to pay and they are looking to throw away, and they are looking for how to reduce the price. You know, you don't have any choice as one person. You have to just what? Join them. Now you see, it's based on what? Sentiment moving the market. But imagine if the real owner of the house, the landlord, comes in and says, no, based on this new development, everybody take care of your waste by yourself. Make sure you dispose it very well. You know, that is news now. There's going to be a reaction on it. Everybody will move in that line. But based on sentiment, it could just be an agreement of this is how we want it to be. You understand? Your bias. And yes, once in a while too, sentiment too also moves the market. You understand? Okay. Mr. Olufo Bamishe, you're saying we should look at Euro JPY, Euro CHF. All right, let's see. Euro JPY, Euro CHF. Euro JPY. All right. So, Euro JPY. Now you can see it, just like we all know, Euros is actually not strong. JPY is actually strong fully this morning, and we've been expecting that sell for a while now. Remember, I was saying it sometimes ago that it gave us that bearish move and everything, but lo and behold, it still did not expect it. But now it's actually moving in that line, you understand? So we're expecting the price on Euro JPY to what? To drop. I still pitch my tent with the bearish move on Euro JPY, just like I've said all this while since beginning of this week, that yes, I'm expecting it to drop. But you know, sometimes price can be so funny, and it gained a lot of strength and went up and everything, but now it's coming down. So Euro JPY, I'm still pitching my tent with who? The bears. I'm expecting price of Euro JPY to what? To drop. Yes. So let's move to Euro CHF and see what is happening on Euro CHF. Let's see what is happening on Euro CHF. Okay. So if we look at Euro CHF, we discover that for a while now, the trend has actually been dropping. Based on what you're saying, it's been dropping. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It's been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And it has gotten to this point. Now, look at it. Good. Can you see? The last time it got there, it reversed back to the upside. It got there this time around, pushed back to the upside. So let's wait and see what is going to happen. Is it coming down? Because currently where price is on its own is also a zone. This is it. Where it is now currently is a zone. And if we look at it, we even discover, let me zoom in so we'll see something. Can you see? This is on 1 hour. When it closed when this particular candle one closed, candle zero opened and what? It spiked. In fact, it gapped up. based on what we are saying, a gap top. So should we expect a bullish movement or not? What are we waiting to see? Because this is a zone, yes, I for one will say I'm expecting a bullish movement, but that is just it. But let's hold on and see, is price going to break below this part? As far as price is unable to break below this part, I'm expecting price to still what? Push up on Euro CHF. I'll pitch my tent with the bulls on Euro CHF if I'm to pick that. But based on the trend, if it's able to break below this part, and like we all know, the trend has been a dropping trend, it's been going down. If it breaks below this part, this is the next section we should be looking at. If it's able to break below this section, then we should expect a continuation on the bearish move on Euro CHF. So that's that on Euro CHF. Okay. So just a quick reminder, like we all know, today is a Friday, and because today is a Friday, the market closes by 10. So we should all try to be risk cautious and try to close early by 8 at most. If you know you don't have any good proceed in your account by 8, please kindly go off that market. But if you know you have a good proceed that can hold you on that, you can wait till you can keep it till Monday morning, and yes, everything will be fine. So thank you very much to everybody that joined the morning market review. Mr. Alebode Seidu, we can see Ademola Adetunji Olalekan, Adeyemi Olalekan, Ajagun. Okay, let's see. Like Alfonso Sikediashi, Anthony Kayode, Akiwade Robert, Alebode Seidu, yes, I've mentioned that one. Akikumi Laniyo, Augustine, I can see Nze Debu, I can see Awonusi, Ademola Ayo, Anyo Felix, Babs Olorunkemi, Bello Ibrahim, Christian Gibb, Chinedu, Charles Ugu, Charles Benjamin, Clement Pereira, Daniel Egenti, Darlington, Doing. All right, everybody, thank you for joining the Money Market Review. Have a lovely weekend. And yes, I'm also wishing us a happy holiday for our Muslim brothers and sisters out there. Okay, bye for now.